ships. We will add your biological and technological distinctiveness to our own. Your culture will adapt to service us. Resistance is futile.
Hello and welcome to the Daily Atheist Morning Show. It is Saturday, the 4th of July. How are you doing? Sci-Fi Saturday. I kind of got a thing going on. Let me just say hello to everybody in the chat real quick. Blazing Wizard Pope. Hello, good morning. Let me see who else is here. Derek Cruz. Kristin is here. Good morning, Derek. Good morning, Kristin. Nice to have you with me. Epileptic Skeptic, thank you for your kind words. Yep, I'm doing better. Got my guts all figured out. Thank you. Dave is here. Good morning, Dave. Tons of Mice is here. Good morning, Tons of Mice. Lots of awesome people already. It's humbling. It absolutely is humbling to pop in and be before the show. And I'm thinking nobody's going to show up, and then to actually see people show up and want to watch me ramble. So it's humbling. I thank you all. Thank you all for joining me this morning. It is the 4th of July. There's a lot of things that go on with the 4th of July. Some people are very patriotic when it comes to the 4th of July. I'm not particularly, but I was raised with the fireworks and the understanding, and I have a sense of patriotism that goes with the 4th of July. It would be a lie to say I didn't, but there's also things that an educated person who knows history realizes that there's a lot of stains on the, blah, 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 blah. But you know what? That's not what we're going to get into today, because see, a lot of people today are celebrating the 4th of July. I am actually celebrating my 5th wedding anniversary to the woman, the wife, the evil one, the love of my life. So today is our 5th anniversary. No one has been able to put up with me for as long as she's been able to put up with me. So she gets a special day, and this is her day. So the entire United States today will be firing off fireworks in celebration of the anniversary of me and my wife. So today is dedicated to the wife. And thanks to her, I want to go. I got some things. I got a list here of reasons why I need to thank her. So hold on. I want to mention a few things. Thank you, Paul, and thank you for joining me. Thank you, best name ever, Kristin, for the congrats. I appreciate it all. Yes. So 4th of July, damp lung. Excuse me. I want to mention that one of the things that happened was, last week I was gone, and so I just played recorded videos. Cynthia McDonald was out Friday because she had surgery as well last week, so I didn't have a Friday guest host. Saturday, Miss Leighann was going to be a trooper and show up and do some Sci-Fi Saturday with me, and then she said, are you sure you don't want to take the 4th of July off? And I'm like, you know what? That's a good idea. I'm going to take the 4th of July off because it's also the wedding anniversary. And then, so I let her have the day off. And then I started thinking, you know what? I got words, good words. If you ever hear me do that, I got words. That's a Firefly quote from a guy in a bar. Anyway, so good morning, Dragnet Silva. Dragnet. Good morning, Drag. Nice to have you with us this morning. So, I told Miss Leighann that I was going to do the thing at the place, or that I wasn't going to do the thing at the place, and I changed my mind. I figured I wouldn't bug her. I've got plenty of sci-fi talk to do myself, and of course, it's a tribute to the Wife Day. So it's the 4th of July for some people, for everybody, for the entire country, there's reasons. It's complicated, 4th of July. But it is the 4th of July, and the entire country is going to be, which means it's my anniversary. And so the entire country is setting off fireworks for us. Thank you very much. Thank you, Derek, for the kind words. Okay, so that got the Leighann Lord thing covered. Really, one of the things I want to say for Sci-Fi Saturday, because, Saturday is Sci-Fi Saturday, I want to thank the wife, because when I met her, she didn't really care for sci-fi. Now, if you're here and you're a sci-fi loving kind of person, you understand that the sci-fi isn't just aliens in space. There's drama and action and fun and love and tears and beauty and sadness, and it's all there in sci-fi. But you kind of gotta know that. If you don't know that, see. Thank you, Kristin. And so she wasn't really there. She had seen some The Next Generation and enjoyed Picard. Jean-Luc Picard back in the 80s, whenever the Next Generation was going on, but she didn't really keep up with it or anything like that. But she did. That was the crack, the chink in the armor right there. So there was that. But she also enjoyed things like Harry Potter. Not only the books, her and her daughter had lots of experiences reading the books together, but also with the movies and stuff. And that there's a certain, it's not science fiction, but it is an entertaining but understood detachment from reality. Fantasy, and a lot of us enjoy fantasy. So that's what I got. And she was not terribly overly excited about watching science fiction. So over the past 5 years, just plus, because we were engaged for a short time before we got married, obviously, as some people are, she has endured a wealth of science fiction, and she's come a long way. She was hesitant at first, and then one of the first things I'm doing, I'm like, baby, beautiful, wonderful, lover, I'd like for you to meet one of my favoriteest sci-fi shows ever. And she's got a fever and she's sweating. She's not feeling good. And she's like, okay. And so I start episode 1 of Firefly. And she's not feeling good and she's got something wrong. I don't know. There's something wrong with her. I don't know what's wrong with her. She's got some kind of girl cooties and she's got fever and she's not feeling good. And I didn't know what was going on. She's getting nauseous. I thought she's just over not liking the show. So that was not like the best introduction to Firefly. And so she didn't really care. There was like, so we took a step back from Firefly. And, we got her healthy, some kind of cooties. I don't know what it was. Girl cooties. Girls have cooties. But she didn't dislike the show. She just wasn't feeling good. And trying to be a trooper, for her new fiance. She's watching this show, but oops. Anyway, so that happened. And then the next thing I tried to do, or the next thing I used, it actually worked. That worked. Let me get this Facebook up real quick. Ow. Noisy. That was noisy. More noisy. Okay. Now I can see the Facebook chat. Thanks. Okay. So then the next thing I thought, I used to kind of get through the chink in her not really caring for sci-fi armor was Battlestar Galactica. The 2001 miniseries, movie series for, and that show she actually enjoyed quite a lot. We, went through that. So now she kind of, because there's a lot of drama that goes on with Battlestar. Battlestar fans, if you're a Battlestar fan, give us a thumbs up in the chat. Oh, you didn't hear it? Yeah, thank you. Good. I had noise. There was noise. Anyway, so if you're a Battlestar fan, let me know, because I love me some Battlestar. Matter of fact, I'm considering rewatching it, but there's so much to watch nowadays. I'm watching a current show. So see, there's a lot to watch. Anyway, we got her through with Battlestar. And Battlestar, we got all the way through it. I'd already seen it once, but it had been many moons since I had seen it. But that was a show that we got to enjoy together. So she enjoyed that one. Now, Battlestar was a little bit divisive because I'm from an older age group. I got a lot to watch or learn. Good morning, Cassandra Jones. Nice to see you there. KCA Randy, nice to have you guys joining us. I've got a lot to learn. The older I get, my mind changes about different things as I learn more. That's one of my things. So science fiction kind of helps that. I got distracted by the chat. I was talking about Battlestar Galactica. Anyway, Battlestar Galactica was great. She endured Battlestar Galactica. She was a trooper. Yes, Battlestar Galactica was divisive because I had a friend who about my age, and he too had enjoyed the Battlestar from the old days, Battlestar Galactica 1979, 1980, whatever those eras were. He really enjoyed that, and he enjoyed the Starbuck from that. And when the new Starbuck, or the new Battlestar Galactica started, and the Starbuck was a woman, he refused to watch it based on her gender. Yeah. So at the time, and I still do, I understand it, but I don't agree with it, but I understand it. Does that make sense? I mean, but I love Cara Thrace, and I love Starbuck, and I love the whole show. So that was my kind of thing. But and also, for those of you who are sci-fi fans, the new Battlestar has got some throw-ins to the old Battlestar, like the guy who played Apollo played the bad guy on the show, who, one of the bad guys on the show, Tom Selleck. Was that his name? You know what I'm saying? And in Klingon, the guy who played the old Baltar was a Klingon in the air. You know, I mean, there's Battlestar Galactica's got a lot of dynamics to go together. But in this particular case, it was one of the things he didn't like because of that. So made that little mental note. But the wife, however, I think she enjoyed Battlestar. I think if she were to walk in the room and I were firing up the first episode, shows the guy waiting in the amnesty. It's been a while. It's been a day or three. But you know, the older gentleman, they have makeup. I don't know why they didn't just use an older gentleman for that, but they had a guy with makeup to make him look older waiting in this place, and then here comes the blonde and some Cylons, and she's hot and she kisses him, and then they blow a hole in the station and he doesn't care because he's getting kissed by a hot redhead, brunette in a red dress, blonde in a red, you know what I'm saying? That happened. So the entire Battlestar Galactica show, I think the wife enjoyed it. That was not a hard sell. Nothing like, oh, I forgot to put this on my list. I have a list. A list in order of shows which we watched. And I forgot to put Battlestar. Or no. Babylon 5. I forgot to put Babylon 5 on El Listo. Because there's a reason. Because Babylon 5. All right, so anyway. So after that was Farscape. You know, there are similarities in personality between... the wife, the beautiful one, the evil one, my wife, and Aaron Soon from Farscape. It would be a lie to say there were not subtle similarities between their character. But, you know, and so that was a show that we really enjoyed together. Farscape is a little weird if you're not into sci-fi. Even if you're into sci-fi, Farscape, you know, what was it, 90s? But it was also early 2000s, I guess, maybe. But it was Jim Henson's Muppets. Tough sell for me. I started to watch it. My little brother, I really should trust his words when he says this sci-fi is good. But I didn't at the time. He said, this sci-fi is good. So I went and watched the first episode. Yeah, she's cool. I went and watched the first episode, and I was like, oh, man, there's puppets. Did you know that puppet, like, farts helium? That's just kind of crass and a little bit crude. It's not really... But then I watched the show. At that point, I stopped. I didn't watch it for like a year and a half. And then I watched it again, and it was a wonderful show. So I introduced it to my wife, and she loved the show. But again, it was a hard sell because of the, you know, but once you get past that and you get into the story for long, you forget that Rigel is, you know, a puppet. You forget that Pilot is not a person. And if you're into the IMDb trivia and stuff, you'll know that the person who plays Crace, the mad captain that's after Michael Crichton in that show, he actually is the same guy who voices Pilot throughout the show. You know, he looks great in high heels. You ought to see that. That was a fun show. Once you get past the first part of it, then you get to Scorpius and getting that thing in Crichton's brain and constantly driving him crazy, and then Crichton gets control of it. Then Crichton falls in, of course, all over this time, Crichton falls in love with Aaron, and then there's two Crichtons, and Aaron gets stuck with one Crichton, and she finally gives in, and they fall in love, and it's just beautiful. And then he dies of radiation, and she has to go face the other Crichton, and it's just, oh, I'm bawling like a baby. It was a wonderful, wonderful show. If you've not seen that, we need to rewatch that. Wifey, we need to rewatch that show. That's good stuff. Oh, farting helium. See, yeah, farting helium, when you think about, it's just a little rough. Farscape, though, he's an alien, so he's Rigel, and Rigel, you'll hate Rigel, and you'll like Rigel, and you'll hate Rigel, and you know it's. But Farscape is just like the rest of them. They got their own cuss words that they use, and it's a lot of fun. You know, it does take a little. If you're a sci-fi nerd, get you some Farscape on. 4 seasons, 3 movies. I love to do it. I need to do a sci-fi channel where I just review this stuff. That's what I do. I mean, I'd be in heaven. Farscape. Anyway, Lex. I've seen me some Lex, but it's been many, many moons since I've seen Lex. I remember there was some hot female who got naked in one of them at the beginning, I think. But my young brain at that time was all it could process. But I need to give Lex a shot because it's probably a great show. Another one's Andromeda. It might be a great show too. It's got Kevin Sorbo, I think his name is. I think he's a modern day religious nutbag by my perspective. But he's probably a great actor. You know, I don't know. But I hear that's a good show for sci-fi nerds. Anyway, Farscape. So, and then we went back and we revisited Firefly. And after going through all that. Now, of course, there was like that. It's difficult to explain. It's easy to say, but difficult to explain the bitterness of a failed attempt such as that. So it was not so easy for the wife to bring herself back to Firefly. And then, of course, Firefly is cowboys in space, and the wife is okay with cowboys, but it's just kind of not really her bag. And then, I'm forcing sci-fi on her, and it's cowboys in space. The one thing I think she did enjoy about Firefly was that a lot of the way I talk and the things I say are similar to the way they talk and the things they say. Not only because I've watched the show and it's been an influence on my life, but just because of where I've come from and the things that we say where I'm from. Tallest dog in the trough, and just nonsense that you'll hear come out of my mouth. Yeah, I remember a little bit of. I wasn't so. Hercules was okay. I didn't. I was more into the. What was the name of the woman's show? Xena. I really enjoyed Xena more than, and I didn't watch that much of it, to be honest. When I could see it, it didn't. Xena. Xena didn't have. Cowboys and Alien. I gotta write that down. Cowboys and Alien. That was one that the wife had said, you sure we haven't seen that? I was like, nah, I thought we'd seen it. She swears we haven't. I'm going to get that going. Cowboys and Aliens. So, yes, Xena, I didn't watch. It's back in the day before the interwebs and stuff. A lot of it happened before the interwebs. Some things I went back, like Star Trek, after the interwebs and watched all those things. Xena, I just kind of never got to. It'd probably be a great show. It's filmed in the same times frame, the same era as like Stargate SG-1 and I think a little before that, but about that time too. And so the production value is as good as a lot of what they had going on for the time. So it's probably a wonderful show. I may need to go and watch it. Good morning, Kelly Sellers. And it's funny, we're talking about Xena. The actress who played Xena also popped up in a show we mentioned just a few minutes ago, which was Battlestar Galactica. She was wonderful. The first time I was watching Battlestar Galactica and she walked in, I was like, oh, it's her. Sorbo, yeah. Gotcha, Kristin. So Xena played on Battlestar Galactica 2. That was wonderful to see them come back with her. Let's see, Farscape. Okay, so after we had been through Firefly, I think it was at that point the wife had agreed that she was just pretty much stuck with me for the rest of her life, and she's like, okay, I'll watch Star Trek. And I worked on the fact that I say that maliciously. I worked on that based on the fact that she kind of already liked Picard. So we went back and I'm like, okay, now this is the 90s. 86 this started. So remember, this is 86's visuals and all that. And we were totally down with that. And we watched it and it was actually pretty good. In my opinion, the Next Generation, which we watched, is like it's got a few great moments with Picard in it and the rest of the show, and it builds on what we know as Star Trek. The original series, The Next Generation, set as canon as what we knew and believed as Star Trek. And I enjoyed that about them. But it wasn't really, it was okay. It just wasn't the best Star Trek. It was like, of the three, the Next Generation, Deep Space Nine, and Voyager, there was the Next Generation is like the command version. How to stand up straight as a Starfleet officer. What's a Starfleet officer supposed to be? This is the series you watch to become a Starfleet officer. Deep Space Nine is like, what's an engineer in Starfleet? What's the life of an engineer? Is kind of more, that's how I feel about Deep Space Nine. Is really O'Brien and the fixing of the station and making the technology work and they're doing the thing. It wasn't as clean and easy. It had more to do with those things than it did as to what it was to be Starfleet. It wasn't Starfleet so much as it was, it just kind of had a mechanics, that kind of feel. Voyager was all sciencey, blue shirt Voyager, sciencey nerd. Had Kate Mulgrew did a great job doing a science nerd. Jerry Ryan did a great job doing a science nerd. Throughout the entire show, it was very heady, very sciencey. The best one, though, I think, was The Next Show. But back to the wife, though. That's what got us in. We watched it, and as we got through that, when you get through a season, you've watched 7 seasons of something, 21 to 25 episodes of something. That's like and you're doing it 1 to 2 episodes a day, possibly. That's a months-long investment. Whenever you're done with that, Yeah. Shut up, Wesley. Season 2. Yeah. Good morning. Yes, everybody. So you're sitting there going through that and you're kind of hungry for something, it's ended and you'd want more. Well, Deep Space Nine, especially if you watch them in order, Deep Space Nine, well, you start with Deep Space Nine and you go through that. Well, that's what we did. The wife was wonderful enough. We got through Star Trek. She kind of, and so for somebody who started out with no knowledge of sci-fi, now is building this. She's been through Firefly. She's been through Battlestar Galactica, Farscape. If you haven't been through Farscape, go through Farscape, and you will add an extra badge of nerdiness to your nerd badge, your wall of or your chest of nerd badge honor by going and watching any of these shows. Lex, I need to go add that to my nerd badge of honor. So we did that. Deep Space Nine. She really enjoyed Deep Space Nine. Quark. She really associated a lot, I think, with Odo and his personality. She enjoyed a lot. Quark, she enjoyed. Some of the Ferengi. The Ferengi were a lot of fun. The actor, oh my goodness, if you don't mind, somebody out there remind me of his name who played Brunt. FCA. Liquidator Brunt. He also played Weyoun, and he played this character and that character. He was all throughout. I just can't think of his name right off. Wonderful character. She loved him. He was so much fun. And that's one of the things about Enterprise. I'll get on to Enterprise in a second. He's in it a little bit. We just haven't got there enough to enjoy him. And we're going to get there because we're going to restart watching Enterprise very soon. So she just really enjoyed Deep Space Nine, and that kind of helps, And then we got to Voyager. Now, Voyager, my wife really enjoys strong female characters, so I believe she enjoyed what was going on with Voyager, because Voyager, not only did it have, eventually it had 7 of 9, but it started out with Kate Mulgrew, who did a great job of being a very strong female character, and also the lady who played B'Elanna Torres, Jeffrey Combs. That's right, very, very awesome. Armin Shimmerman was Quark. Yes, wonderful actor. So she really enjoyed those female characters. B'Elanna Torres was a little kind of I see all those badges, Kristin. I see those badges. B'Elanna Torres was like a random factor in the beginning, but once she settled into who she was as she was always a strong character, no doubt, and the actress did a fantastic job playing her. But once she settled into being the chief engineer of the ship, she was just absolutely fantastic and did a great job throughout the rest as the character, going, and especially going through with her marriage and all those things. So, and then. Now, I'm not really sure. I'd have to ask the wife. I think she did enjoy Kess's role. Kess was a fun character. I enjoyed Kess. I enjoyed the actress who played Kess. I thought she was quite lovely. And she was fun. She did a good job playing the character that was written. There just wasn't a lot of character, I think, there, and they sort of knew it going into it. But when they did, I'm going to say they switched her out. I've said that before, and I think I was wrong. Congrats, Tons of Mice. It's a great show. I love the ending, by the way. Well, I don't want to say they replaced her with. It was just happenstance. There was the end of that character line and the beginning of this character line. That's how I'm just going to go with it, because they wrapped it up nicely, and especially having her come back later, it worked out fine. But that brings us to 7 of 9, who was, again, just like B'Elanna Torres, kind of a random. You didn't know what was really going to happen. If there was something wrong to be done, she was going to do it on the moral high ground of, whatever, drama, really often. But it was still a good character. And of course, Jerry Ryan did a fantastic job. And as she settled into her role, she just kind of took it and ran with it. It was wonderful. And I think those things the wife really enjoyed about that show. I would almost say that because of those factors, of course, there's a lot of fun things with Voyager. Deep Space Nine, if you've heard me talk about root beer moments. A root beer moment is Voyager again. Yeah. A root beer moment is the moment in Deep Space Nine where Garrick goes to Quark because the Klingons are actually going en masse to attack, I think if I'm correct, to attack his homeworld. And the Federation are the only thing that's going to stop them from destroying them. And he goes to Quark and he asks for some Kanar or whatever he drinks. And Quark's like, have some of this root beer. And as they drink and talk about this root beer, it's one of the most fantastic scenes, in my opinion, in Star Trek. They consider the things that go on, and Garrick's it's just a wonderful scene. So I judge series, and personally myself, by how many root beer moments they have. Do they have a lot of Deep Space Nine, because of the quality of the actors, Armin Shimmerman, the person who played, his name was Andrew, Garrick, I'm sorry, man. The individual who plays Garrick, if you're watching, I apologize for forgetting your name. I'm pretty sure it has Andrew in it. Anyway, and Odo, Rene Aubergenois, wonderful actors, and they came together and they did such a fantastic job. And there were so many moments written that I would call root beer moments. Were just fantastic, absolutely moments. Voyager didn't have so many of those. They didn't. There was a couple, maybe. I can't think of any right now. Outside of Andrew Robinson. See, thank you. Critical Cripple, you're wonderful. I just can't with Voyager. Now there was obviously the ending of Voyager. Blew my mind. Loved it. I loved it. I think there could have been some more. Tell us a little bit what happened afterwards. But the way they ended it was fantastic. So, but it just didn't have those root beer moments that Deep Space Nine did. For me, it didn't. It did have some great storylines that were awesome. Their bad guys were really good. The Hunters, I can't remember what they were called. Weed brain. But they were also the 8472, species 8472, and the engagement they had with the Borg, and then the relationship that Janeway developed with the Borg Queen over time. Through 7 of 9, fantastic stuff. I really enjoyed it. I would sit here. I have no problem. I shit you not, guys. If I ever drop you like a hot rock and start a completely unrelated channel and y'all never see my happy ass again, it's because I want to do a sci-fi channel. I'll put links down below. Sci-fi channel. Chris is gone. No more damn show. Sci-fi channel. So root beer moment. They were just wonderful root beer moments. So we watched those. Now, this was the deal. She kind of wanted to, as far as sci-fi, understand where I came from. So that's why she wouldn't go the original series. That was kind of too much to push. I just want to mention that was just too far. I understand it. I do understand it. Just saying. Now, anyway, I understand it. So, but we'd gotten through that time. Thank you, Derek Cruz, for the $2 of supporting of this show. You're wonderful. I appreciate it. So, the purpose was for her to catch up with me and understand where I'm coming from a scientific sci-fi perspective. And so far at this point, she's done fantastic. But our understanding is, in order to catch up on Star Trek, which is one voluminous section of its own of sci-fi, we need to kind of set that over here. And we need to go through it all. And so she was going through it. And I thought, well, we got to go through Star Trek. But as we're going through this sci-fi era, the 90s and early 2000s, let's go ahead and get Babylon 5 out of the way. And the reason why is because after we do Voyager, we'll watch Babylon 5. It's kind of it jumps back a little bit in time, but the technology, but then we're going to jump forward to Enterprise, and the sci-fi, the graphics are so much better. The sound and graphics are so much better that I thought it'd just be less jarring. To have to go all the way through Star Trek, all the way through the new Picard and everything, and then go back and try to watch Babylon 5. It'd be a little rough. So she, being just the absolute angel, the angel that she is, endured Babylon 5. Yes, without... the first season... No, I say wait. Wait. Bad Chris. Pardon me. Babylon 5 is a fantastic and wonderful series. There are things, if season 1 can be difficult to get through, if X, Y, and Z. But that's just, it's like a style and taste thing. I don't want to vilify anybody, because Michael O'Hare was the actor who played Jeffrey Sinclair during the first season, was having a rough go of it in his personal life. in his very personal life. And if you don't know, if you just don't like the first season of Babylon 5 and you don't like it because of him, you should go read about it and understand what was going on in his life and other things. I find it kind of a hard watch because most of the time, obviously I know it now, the way things go, usually that first season can be a little on the rough side. And of almost any sci-fi, as they're finding their footing, they're finding their universe, they're working things out. If you like Stargate, the next SG-1, which the wife did watch, I forgot to put that on the list too. She did try to watch it. We got through like 6 seasons, but if you watch it, forgot my point. Damn it. About Stargate SG-1. Anyway, so come back. So we watched the Babylon 5, but if you're about Michael O'Hare, really go watch it again. If you watch it, he was doing, I think, probably the best a person could do considering the circumstances. So cheers up to Michael O'Hare. I would sit through Babylon 5. There have certainly been worse shows. I have watched worse shows. And I certainly couldn't have done it. But then, so right there at the end of the Next Generation, the Next Generation series, TNG, DS9, Voyager, we watched Babylon 5 so she could get an understanding of that. Again, the first season is a little rough as it finds its footing, and it's especially go watch the first movie. There's a pre-movie that you can watch, and like the makeup is different. They were just finding their footing, the time frame, the 90s, low budget. It was just, they did great for what they had. It was a wonderful, wonderful show. And then the season 2 and season 3, and you get into season 3 and you've got the Vorlons and the Shadows. And I mean, it's just everything's coming apart and it's all, things fall apart. It's really, really wonderful. Tennyson, Tennyson was in there if you're into Tennyson. Hey, good morning, Maynard. Nice to have you joining us this morning. Yes. So, real quick, I want to, before we go from Babylon 5, because she did enjoy Babylon 5, it was just a little rough. It was indeed a little rough to get through. She enjoyed Babylon 5. Now let me say, stop here and go back. She likes James Spader. She really enjoys him, and I think she enjoys his acting in the shows she's watched him play. So we were going to go watch SG-1, which is one of my favorite sci-fi series. It's voluminous. There's tons of it, not Star Trek, tons of it, but close. And so there's a lot of good stuff. And she was going to watch it, and it was, again, I think this was near the beginning, somewhere very close to the Firefly battle. So I think we may have done the SG-1 before Battlestar. So she really wasn't having it, wasn't into it. And here is kind of part of the problem. If you love Battlestar or SG-1 or James Spader and all that, and you kind of dig all that, and you go watch that first movie, if you're not into sci-fi, that first movie can be rough. I went and watched it when we watched it together. It was, I love me some sci-fi. I love SG-1. I love Stargate. I understand the concept. I'm all, hey, you wouldn't imagine how much I know about ancient Egyptian shit because of this show. And it's probably wrong. I don't know how much of it's wrong, but I've been like, oh, look, they're going to talk about this because of that. And sure enough, they do. So I think they sourced some good things when they did Stargate. So we watched it, and man, it was rough. So she wasn't really, And then the first season with Stargate 2 is a little bit rough as they're finding their feet. There's several episodes I don't particularly care for. And most of the episodes I don't care for are right there at the beginning. In the first season. And, first season, they changed things. By the second season, they come out with the Zat guns and different things. And I really enjoy Star Trek. SG-1, that's one that's kind of unfortunate that we didn't get a good setting with the wife, because I think she really enjoyed it by the time we got to the end. Now, I enjoyed the first 7 seasons, loved it. The movie at the end of season 7, fantastic. It was going to be a movie because they canceled it, and they was like, okay, well, we're not going to do any more seasons, so let's go ahead and make this movie. So they plotted it out, and they wrote it, and they were working on it. My understanding, correct me if I'm wrong, and they switched it to where it was actually we're going to go ahead and do the series. Well, let's turn this into the end of season 7, the beginning of season 8. Fantastic. If you just go watch that 2-parter episode or 3-parter episode, you're going to be like, it's okay. But if you watch the series and you're through 7 seasons of it and you're with all the characters and you know what's going on, you'll be like, yes, that's fucking what it is. It's one of the best sci-fi movies ever, in my opinion. It's fantastic. And then I get it, brother. I get it. Richard Dean Anderson, he's like, my knees are giving out. I'm tired of doing this. I got lots of money. I don't want to run around in the forest in Canada anymore. And so he kind of checked out and went back to the base, and started being the general for season 8. And that kind of was unfortunate. It didn't work well. And then they got rid of the doctor. Oh, you know what happened to the doctor? Oh, I cried like a baby, a hungry, angry baby. When I watched that season about the doctor, and that was one of the things. It was, I don't know. We just. SG-1. I got to get through SG-1 again. I didn't care myself for Stargate Atlantis. And I thought Stargate Universe just sucked. It created a negative pressure environment, which means it sucked. So yeah, but we never got to go that far. She got, I think, about 6 seasons through. I don't think we got through the whole 7 seasons of Stargate. And I don't think we did. We just kind of drifted off. She wasn't interested, lost interest. It's just, I love this show, and that's kind of, I can't blame the movie, but the movie didn't. It didn't. We went to watch the movie before the season. Maybe it was because she wasn't really into sci-fi. She already had her head set against it to begin with. And then we went and watched this movie, and the movie just kind of, it's classic if you love sci-fi and you want to do, but it's kind of, awesome. Yeah. And, but then you watch the series and I don't know, she just couldn't get into it. It's unfortunate because that 7 seasons is one of the best of sci-fi, just fantastical. After that, it kind of remember season 8, O'Neill kind of leaves and it kind of changes. 9 and 10, they bring in the people who were from Farscape. Crichton and Aaron Soon, the actress who played Aaron Soon, Claudia Black. They brought her and the guy who played Michael Crichton to John Crichton to Michael Crichton. They brought them to SG-1, but it was okay. It was okay, It was okay. Yeah, it just wasn't. I don't know. It wasn't the same. The Ori, I just really didn't dig the Ori thing. It just didn't work for me. I don't know. Wasn't all that. How they did, I don't know. I'd have to go and rewatch it. It's obviously been at least 5 years because we didn't watch beyond that point. And so I haven't seen it forever. I didn't enjoy, well, again, let me switch back to the things we did, not the other ones. So maybe one of these days I'll get to her to watch the rest of SG-1 and then we can watch Atlantis and Stargate Universe. And because, man, I tell you, I don't really Stargate Universe. I feel a lot about the way Stargate Universe as I do Stargate or Star Trek Discovery. I have issues with Stargate. They had some great text and visuals. They did certain good things that were good. They did a lot that was bad. I know. I totally get Laser Whizzing Poe. I know they kind of did a lot of. Did you notice that they never really engaged Christianity except in one episode of the SG-1? That one episode where it wasn't God that the Goa'uld was impersonating, but it was the devil. And they had the Goa'uld was played by this Unas. I really enjoyed that. That was fun. Let me get back up here. Voyager Babylon 5. Okay, so after all this fun and excitement, yes. Yeah, that's true. That's a good point. Critical Cripple. That's a good point. It could have worked. And, really, there were certain things, but one of the things I didn't like about the new, because they started a Stargate Command with some lady who was supposed to be the young version of the older lady who, in the Stargate, you know who I'm talking about. But all right, so here, peep this, my homies. She was 12 when she found the Stargate. She was freaking 70 whenever she got it to work again. And up to that point, she had never seen it work. As far as we knew, she'd never seen it work and didn't know people had gone through it. And then she found out her boyfriend had gone through during SG-1. Now, to say that during the 1930s or 40s, she had her own adventures going through the gate broke my brain. I mean, why you got to do that? There's so much you can do in this universe. Why you got to do that? And they did that. And of course, I haven't gone and seen it. They may explain it away just fine. I don't know. Not sure. I have to check it out. Good morning, Native Atheist. Thank you for joining us. Hola. Yeah, so that's kind of the thinking about that SG Stargate command. There's some stuff there, but I just haven't gone and checked it out. So now that brings us. Were they supposed to still be Crichton and Soon? Yeah, no. They tried very hard not to make them Crichton and Soon. The lady who played Claudia Black played, I don't remember the character's name in SG-1, but she was an ex-Goa'uld, somebody who had a Goa'uld in her, been a queen for a while, and the Goa'uld had been removed, and now she was just a person. But she was really lighthearted and funny and fun and mischievous and problematic. And she'd wear these pigtails, and she was very cartoonish. And I really enjoyed her aspect of the show. When they brought Crichton on, which was at the same time, or the actor who played Crichton, sorry, guy, I don't remember your name if you're watching. When they brought him back, he and she did not interact. There was no romance. She was after Daniel Jackson, sort of. They had no, and I enjoyed that because they had the romance thing. They'd already done it. They did not play up those things. They were just two different actors doing the same things. I really enjoyed how they did that. I can't knock up that at all. I'm just checking the chat. Okay, so now all those things combined. Now we've been through all those things. I've drugged the poor wife. It's like dragging her through a mesquite bush, but it wasn't. She was actually enjoying this stuff. She, things that a lot of us like, she liked. She'll watch a show and find characters she doesn't like. If it's a show and they've got a doctor in the show, he better be good. He better be funny, smart, know his shit. Whoever writes his doctor stuff better write it well, or she is just going to hate it. She does not like. I'm laying it out there. If you're one of the people who likes this, she's just. She does not like Beverly Crusher. Doctor's orders. Doctor's orders. I mean, this is that's one of the doctors. She just like her brain would melt just watching Dr. Crusher. There's not a lot of episodes that we did not endure. Okay, I'm telling you, there's some not good episodes in Star Trek. Only one episode that I am aware of have we intentionally gone, you know what? We're not going to watch this one. And this is the Dr. Beverly Crusher having a relationship with her grandmother's ghost's boyfriend or some shit like that. You know what I'm talking about. It's disgusting. It's nasty. It's not natural. That's right. Doctor's orders. Anyway, so that one. Oh, hey. And then there's another doctor, the doctor from Deep Space Nine. I can't say the wife didn't like the actor or the actress. I'm not saying she didn't like the actress from the show. We're not saying that. Actress, I try really hard as a person who's tried to be an actor. I try not to vilify actors. Some characters are bad characters or poorly drawn characters or poorly executed characters, etc. But I don't try to vilify actors. Anyway, so not that she didn't like the actress. Well, she may have because she, had a hots for Jean-Luc Picard. There may have been some jealousy there because the redhead was all up in his business all the time. So I wonder if it was really about the medical stuff or if she's just jealous of Jean-Luc. Anyway, when it came to the Dr. Bashir from Deep Space Nine, it was more about I've done nothing and I'm all out of ideas. I mean, this guy it's an either 2-second figure it all out, amazing situation kind of blah, 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 or it's one of these deals where we've tried nothing and he just so she didn't care for his character very much. Or the first officer of both shows, the Next Generation. And she didn't. All right, if you're a Will Riker fan, I get it. We all have our preferences. She does not like Will Riker. this red alert. He goes, red alert. And she would go, red alert. Uh-oh. I lost a monitor. Ding. Oh, hey. Hey, oh. Okay. Something happened. So there was a lot of fun. I hope everything's still going. Let me check my thing. I heard a noise. You know how it is when you hear a noise. Hey, looky there. My display is working now. Okay. Did it kill the stream? Hello? Are we still streaming? Bum, ba-dum, bum, ba-dum, bum. Sorry guys. If you're here, I was in the middle of a rant. I'm sorry. I'm just checking. Okay. Looks like we're still streaming. Okay, I heard a thing. Still here. Yay! It's like, hey, all right, so have you seen Dune recently? This guy gets poisoned. He's like, poisons this guy. And he poisons the hell out of this guy over here with this stuff. And the guy just like, and just dies. It's fucking hilarious. And this other guy who wasn't there, he was just like over here. He goes, am I alive? Am I? He has no concern for either of the other two people. He just wants to make sure he's alive. That's kind of thing. Are we live? Is it still here? I pinched me. Anyway. I got lost. Oh, I was talking about doctors. So, and first officers. So the beautiful one did not care for Will Riker. Will Riker is a cool kind of personality. All right, let me rephrase that. He's like I want to use the word. Okay, Jonathan Frakes, brother, listen, man, I love you. I love you. Just, I love you. But, you know, Will Riker was kind of could be, I want to asterisk that, could be a douchebag. You know, like a male privileged kind of jerk. You know, he just kind of could be. And that's all. He walk up, but one of the things I thought was hilarious, if you're a con person, you're sitting there in the con chair, he would walk up and he would put his left leg up on the con station here and just essentially put his groin in your face as he spoke to you. That was hilarious. I thought that was... Anyway, so the wife didn't really care for the first officers of... Now, I see a pattern. Wait. I see a pattern. Okay. My wife really enjoyed Captain Picard. Didn't care for the doctor because she was at... Well, she said it was because it was bad doctoring or bad writing for the doctor's part. But I think it was really because she was attracted to Picard and she was jealous of Picard. That's what I think. Okay, now, here's the second part of my evil plan or my evil thoughts here is that she didn't like the second officer or the first officer, Kira Nerys from Deep Space Nine. Because, you know, Kira Nerys was something. I don't know why. Why didn't she like Kira Nerys? Because, you know, Kira Nerys is a strong female character, and the wife really normally loves strong female characters. So why don't we like Kira Nerys? I'll tell you why. I'll tell you for free. It's because she had the hots for Odo. I already said the wife had the hots for Odo. She had the hots for Odo. Renee Auberginois, she had the hots for Odo. And then, of course... Kira Nerys' character got up in with Odo and they did the thing and bumping uglies, and naturally the wife didn't like. I see. I'm not as dumb as I look. She got some splaining to do. That's why she don't like these characters, because she's got hots for the other ones. Okay. Nah, I just got crackers here. I'm all right. I've got gut pain going on. I need to take pills. I think it's almost pill taking time. I'm not really sure. Back to my story here. So, let me pull over here. So we've talked about, let me just bring it back to Discovery and back to my list of things. We really enjoyed Stranger Things. That was a good show. We enjoyed that. So now we get to the Doctor of Voyager. The wife really, I think, enjoyed the Doctor of Voyager. Now, if the Doctor of Voyager did things that were not really smart medically, we kind of let it go because he made up for it in all the other areas that made him such a cool character and actor. Fantastic. Just fantastic. The Doctor, those two, you know, I don't know if you guys don't know this or not, but the Ethan Phillips, I believe, auditioned for the role of the Doctor. Ethan Phillips, if you're not aware, is the person who played, don't tell me his name. Don't tell me. Neelix. right? So imagine the guy who played Neelix playing the Doctor. That would have been an entirely different show. But anyway, we got the Doctor, Robert Picardo. Robert, if you're watching, you are fantastic. I love you. Did a wonderful job of being the Doctor in Voyager. And the wife really enjoyed his character. There was also you might see a running theme where the wife identifies with grumpy characters as a personal identification, like they're her spirit animal, and therefore it only makes sense that he would naturally. He's a medical person, and he's grumpy and condescending and mentally superior. So she kind of associated with all of these things. So, good morning, Nerdy Rodent and Galen Thurber. How are you doing? Good morning, Schnickjack. Snickant. Man, I'm sorry. I can't say your name. Disherpa. I can say it. Disherpa. I got gut pain. My gut hurts. Anyway, good morning, you guys. Thank you for joining me. I'm talking a little sci-fi. It's Sci-Fi Saturday. The entirety of the United States is today celebrating my 5th anniversary. Today is our 5th anniversary. You'll notice there are fireworks going off in your streets if you live in the United States. Pay no attention to that. I apologize if those who are also celebrating with us happen to go over and be too jubilant and forget themselves. So just ignore that. They're just celebrating the wedding anniversary of me and my beautiful wife, which is today. Oh, gee. Okay, so now I'm still going, right? I got time. I still have time. I got more crackers, right? So they said I could eat crackers on the show as long as I looked cute while doing it. Okay, enough of that. So my gut really does hurt. So we watched. Now we've talked about the Doctor from Discovery or a Voyager. Was there any characters she didn't like necessarily? I don't think she had any that I remember. Any characters? I don't think she cared for. No, I don't think there's any characters specifically that she didn't care for in Voyager. She didn't like the Kazon. She felt the Kazon as a species were like a cheap knockoff of the Klingons, and she just really didn't care for them at all. I thought the hair and things that they did with them was just stupid. I remember sharing her opinion on that. They should have cooked Neelix and ate him. Galen Thurber, see, I'm going to put that on as a poll on YouTube. They should have cooked and eaten Neelix. Cooked and eaten Neelix. That's not a bad idea. You know, I could get behind that. Especially like in the Year of Hell or when they were trapped in the void. When they got dropped in that void and they're like, we're in a void and there's hundreds of ships here and apparently there's no way ever out. They should have dropped his ass in a deep fryer right there. I'm just saying. It'd have been a little awkward later when they got out. But hey, at least they'd had a deep fried Neelix. You can get some cotton candy. My guts hurt. Oh. The bad hair, guys. Yeah, so let's see, Grillers. Look at oh, thank you. Brought me medicine. Looky there. I got pills. They're just Advil. Yeah. I don't take the meds, the oxymeds, because they lock you up. Lock you up better than government cheese. I'm just saying. So I avoid them because, I don't know if you've been miserable, but if you want to be miserable, get you some serious constipation going on and you will be miserable. I thought like having this problem or, the surgery was nothing. The recovery from the surgery was nothing. Being miserable from the constipation from the medication they give you from the surgery, that's miserable. Okay. Cooked and eaten Neelix. I got that written down. So let me go back up here to the show. We have watched... Thank you, honey, for the medicine. She's watching. Thank you. We have watched all these things so far, and she's gotten to... We're getting to... And I kind of did the Next Generation series twice. I did the shows that we watched, and then I told you which doctors and characters she didn't like. That's fine. Then we got to... All right. Oh, and we also hit... Pardon me. We also hit Babylon 5, got that out of the way. Good stuff there. And then we got to Enterprise, and we have not been able to get through Enterprise. We were doing okay. Enterprise, it's just one of those things, just like a lot of other shows I've already mentioned, the first season can be rough as they find their feet and they're learning things and going along. And there were some things, I don't know. It just Enterprise is a little bit harder for me to watch. Now, Dr. David Kyle Johnson, that's his favorite sci-fi show. Skip to the last episode. Yeah. Man, that last episode. Now that we all know that, well, I can't. It's just so rough. That last episode, I'm like, did you just shit on the last 4 years of my life? I've been watching this show. That's what, when we watched it as it came out, you had to wait. And then we get this last episode and it's like all this took place in the holodeck. You're shitting me. Right. And but I've grown since then. I've learned. So I'm trying to rewatch it with a better mental attitude. Yes. So, Neely's kebabs. That's good. Okay, so now we've gotten through all this Star Trek, and we tried to get through Enterprise, and Enterprise was a little on the rough side. Sorry, I've got cracker on the microphone. Enterprise was a little rough, but no rougher than the others. We need to get back to it, but we got distracted. I was doing Sci-Fi Saturday, and we agreed to go watch Discovery. So I've got Discovery written right here. I'm going to try very hard. I'm going to try to, oh my God. I'm going to try to talk about Discovery without waving my arms too much, without cussing a lot. It's going to be hard. Again, I need to preface that all the actors did a fantastic job of Discovery. Me and the wife have loved Discovery. Now, if you're familiar with the Star Trek universe and you watch Discovery, one of these things is not like the other. There's a lot that's, yeah, right. Thank you, Sherpa. There's a lot with Discovery that really, really hurts my brain. I think the actress who plays Michael Burnham does a fantastic job. I think the actor who plays Tyler, I think he does a fantastic job, especially whenever he's speaking Klingon. Vogue, whenever he plays Vogue. Wonderful. I actually didn't mind what they did with the Klingons. What they've done with the Klingons in the show is exactly expected. They've done that with the Klingons from the very beginning. The Klingon heads and bodies have changed throughout the run of the entirety of Star Trek, and they tend to explain it. So I knew sooner or later they would explain why they look different than we're used to, and they would eventually make them look the way or sort of, more modern, but sort of closer to what we were expecting before we got to the timeline to which we met them. This has worked perfectly. But the whole deal, the issues I have with Discovery are the tardigrade and the drive they use, the spore drive and that network. First of all, if you know anything about it, they stole all that from another show. That is completely stolen from somebody else. There's lawsuits and all this, that this is all completely, but it was unnecessary. That we already had ways in the proper working Star Trek canon where they could have done the very same thing. They could have, picked up an Iconian drive and somehow engaged that. Thank you, Maynard Saves. I want to get to that. Yes. Oh, that's a good one, too. They could have somehow done something else to make it to where the Discovery could go boom, 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 and do a lot of the things it did without trashing the universe we know. And one of the things that pisses me off about Discovery is that we're going to flip this switch, and it's going to actually, if we're not careful, we're going to accidentally destroy our ship. Oh, that's exciting. No. We're going to accidentally destroy our world. No. We're going to destroy our galaxy. No. We're going to destroy our universe. No. That's still not good enough. But with this technology, we're going to accidentally destroy every universe, all the many different fractions of universes that we know. And because of this one thing, they're trying to make us believe in Discovery that no other race has ever discovered this. ever. This is technology easily discovered before Star Trek, the original series. So that means any race out there would easily have the technology available to do. So you're telling me modern day, I'm going to say modern day by Star Trek Romulans in the Next Generations era, they didn't have the technology or knowledge or know-how to do this spore drive? Of all the fractured thousands and millions of different universes out there, no other civilization in any of those have found the spore universe, the spore connectivity. None of them have found it. And none of them have flipped that one switch that destroyed. I mean, it's just stupid. It's stupid. And every time they turn around, they're not saving the world or nothing like that. They got to save everything everywhere. And that just it just gets old very fast. So that was kind of the thing. And then, of course, did you guys know Spock had a brother? I'm sorry. No, yeah. Did you guys know Spock had a brother? Raise your hand. Did you know Spock has a brother? If you know Spock's got a brother, we know that, you notice I haven't mentioned Spock's brother in the show. If you've watched Discovery. Did you know Spock had a sister? You didn't before Discovery. But you, Sybok, exactly. Thank you, Sybok. But they've never mentioned it. You've never seen Sybok. You don't know nothing about Sybok. Where was Sybok? How come we don't have any flashbacks of him with Sybok? I mean, her with Sybok. Did she not? And you know what I mean? They just pull the shit out their ass, and they're it's like messing up our universe. I have a lot wrong with Discovery. And at the end of the season, second season, now I have to say, the Klingon War that goes on during the first season, that stuff was great. They did some wonderful stuff with Discovery. The graphics are fantastic, wonderful. They are just blow my mind every time. The graphics in Discovery, love it. It's just my universe. They didn't have to do that. They could have done kept everything else the same and just called it something else. But no, they had to literally steal something from this. And then the other thing that they really did that I thought was really stupid was, all right, I don't mind the gay people on the show. I think that's great that they're being more forward. Women in charge, gay women in charge. All these things, trans people, homosexuals, is great. It's great that they're embracing these things and finally getting them some voice on the show. But that they're going to kill the doctor off? The actor Tyler is going to kill the doctor off, and he's just going to die. They're going to kill the doctor, and that the engineer sees this happen, can somehow pull the doctor's spirit into the mycelial network, and then they can transfer his spirit and mind from the mycelial network into a new body. That's just a bunch of bullshit. What the hell, And then they're going along. They're near the end. They're going along, and there's this. Is it a dark matter? It's a dark matter, or no, it's an asteroid or something floating along, and they capture it and they put it in their ship, and it just accidentally happens to have spore drive stuff because this stuff is so popular. I mean, it's just, oh my goodness, they really didn't have to do that. They didn't have to do those things and be so inconsistent. Spock's parents. That's another thing. It really bugs me. How many times have you ever, if you're a person who's watched science fiction, have you ever seen a fully grown adult in the middle of an emergency, life or death, your entire ship is going to die, crisis situation, shut down everything, run in the other room, and call their parent to ask them what to do? Can you name me, besides Discovery and Michael Burnham, can you name anybody who's ever... I mean, the very first episode they do that, and I thought that was a little odd that she would shut down right now. Oh my goodness. We've seen those things before. I mean, where they're like, you know what, I got a really valuable source of information. I need to go tap that shit. I'll be right back. Totally get it. It was her father. I get that. Okay, that's the coincidence. He happened to be the ambassador. I get that. That was cool. All right, it's okay. So I could let that one slide. And then you're getting near the end of season 2. Everything is about to go to shit. If we don't do this right, everything in the known galaxy, our known galaxy, is going to be destroyed. All living creatures is going to be destroyed by this AI thing. If we don't do this right now, it's just got to happen right now. We're out in the middle of nowhere. We've just had combat with all kinds of shit. We've got this magic ship that's doing all this stuff. It's craziness. We just got craziness going on. There's this angel, a red angel that's going left and right, and just everything's crazy happening. And then Michael Burnham's mama appears out of nowhere. Oh, I mean, her real mama, not her adopted parents. Her real mama is the red angel. Damn, that's a coincidence. That's just fantastic. And you know what? She's got to go on a mission herself. She's got to put on that red angel suit and got to go do the thing. And here we are. We're about to do it. Everybody, we're standing around. We're gathering around. The world is about to end. We're all going to die. Everybody in the galaxy is going to die. And we're in the middle of nowhere. And Michael Burnham's parents warp in, right? They warp in. Honey, you're going to do fine. It's going to be great. You'll get an A. I promise. We'll see. Okay, we'll see you later. And then they warp their happy asses out. Is that not a bunch of shit? It hurts. So I'm going to do a sci-fi channel. I'm going to just sort of review this stuff. It still hurts. Yeah. So, I mean, I love the actress. I think the actress did a fantastic job. The actors, all of them. Oh, man. The actress, Micheal Yeoh. Oh, you know, every time she's in a scene and I see her grin, that little grin like she's fixing to do something messed up, I'm like, go, girl. But let's set that aside. I love that. And I really love that aspect of the character. That's great. That character shouldn't be there. It's just stupid. I'm going to use the word stupid here. I'm going to capitalize it with an S. It's stupid. This is a character that you know is from another universe. I mean, I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the people who run, what's it called? Section 31. Section 31 literally knows she's a bad guy from a different universe, and yet they give her a respected position and power. The same thing with Vogue. They know, and yet he has a respected position with power. You don't have agents that could be doing this? It's stupid that you would put those people in those positions. It's ridiculous. Ridiculous is defined as worthy of ridicule, and here I am ridiculing that notion. There's so many different ways they could have done these things. They wanted to keep those characters on the show. Got it. That makes sense. You could have done better. Mediocre. Ow, that hurts. Mediocre, you know, I'm just saying. But the actress, fantastic. She shouldn't have been there though. That character shouldn't have been there, or shouldn't have been there for some other reason. They should have thought that one through a little better. And wait, who's Section 31? Right? Well, now we just got finished watching Deep Space Nine. They talk about Section 31 a little bit. Most people don't know what it is. Most people think it's not real. It's like a myth, or, you know, so one of those things is conspiracy theory. A few people, like the Dr. Bashir and a couple others, know because they've interacted with a Section 31 agent. It has happened, but in Discovery, everybody knows. In fact, they're so well known, they have their own badges that everybody, even layman captains and these people, happen to know about. That's contrary to everything we know about Section 31. Section 31 operates openly and blatantly with a vast armada of their own ships. None of these things are congruent. They didn't have to do that. They didn't have to. I know where they're going. I have a feeling I know where they're going. They're going to do certain things, and I'm eager to see. And then, of course, we've heard the rumblings about the Romulans and the Borg in Picard. Do they really need to do that? Do they got to do that? Do we have to be the ones that create the Borg? Why? Why does it always have to be? Why can't we do something new, for one? Well, why do we have to do that? Now the Borg didn't come up their own. They didn't do their own thing, if that's what happened. I haven't watched all that. So we'll have to see. Yes. So Discovery, I'm very passionate about. The bringing back the Doctor, I thought was stupid. One more thing I got to vent about, and I believe, of course, now the Doctor thing. So I again didn't mind the the relationship between the doctor and the chief engineer. But he's a spore expert, not a warp engine engineer. Where's a warp engine engineer on this ship? It has a warp engine, but he's not a warp engineer. He's a spore engineer. He's a spore expert. Where's the warp engineer? Well, apparently Tilly is the warp engineer. No, wait. Tilly is also a spore expert. Wait. But she's just a cadet. So why is a cadet on a super secret ship at the beginning of a battle or during a battle? Let's go skip on because she's not there on the show. She's on the Discovery. Why is a cadet on a super secret ship, the top of the line, behind the lines, doing the thing? You would never, that's not a place for a cadet. They would actually be at the, what do you call that place where cadets? The academy, and I'm sure they have offset like Wesley Crusher. Wesley Crusher and Tilly were different. Wesley Crusher didn't build the Enterprise, and that's kind of, he came on, he did little things as he did. They worked him into it. He did have too much. He did too much for certain things, and he did live on the Enterprise. It was a little, but it wasn't the same. This lady, she comes on and she's just now the actress I think the actress is one of my favorite actresses on the show, as far as she's just so natural and does such a wonderful job. But the character, they're putting too much on the character. Again, who's the warp field technician on the show? Well, guess what? Tilly's an expert. Have her do it. She's a warp field engineer. She's a brain surgeon. She knows about these spores. She can do this. It slices, it dices, it makes julienne french fries. I was surprised when it came time to get Voke out. And they're like, oh, there's no way with all our science and technology. And they're like, oh, well, you know what? Give this Klingon these little blue things to put on her hands and just run over his head for like 9 whole seconds. And it'll fix the whole problem. There's just a lot wrong. What I was going to say is I'm surprised they didn't have Tilly do that because she does everything. She just does everything. Whenever she's the one who comes up with the idea to bring the doctor back through the mycelial network and through these pods that are, it's just stupid. And at the end of season 2, they wrap it up all nicely by saying, no one will ever talk about the Discovery. No one will know that Michael Burnham was your sister. Isn't that kind of weird to expect all the, she was a well-known, like, what they call her? Not a conspirator, but, mutineer. She's a well-known mutineer, known by name by so many of these people. They see her, oh, you're the only girl, Michael, I know is right. Everybody knew her. Surely, how did they not know? How are you going to put a lid on that kind of thing? And then to say the Discovery didn't exist, everybody knew about the Discovery. The Klingons knew about the Discovery. Everybody knew about the Discovery. They knew about the mycelial drive. To just go, we're not going to talk about this, is just dumb. It's just, right? Am I right or am I right? So that's my feeling on those things. So now we talked about the sci-fi. She did, me and the wife did endure Discovery. We've watched 1 episode of Picard, but we kind of want to reset after watching Discovery. So I think we're going to go back and finish Enterprise, and then we'll watch Picard and try to get a decent. So that's kind of where we sit as far as sci-fi. But there's untold amount of movies that this poor woman has endured. Some of them she actually liked. I've got a list here. Now, obviously, there's the Star Trek movies. We watched those in order. The wife is actually a fan of the modern day Mad Max. We haven't watched the old Mad Max. I don't want to go watch that. That's hard. That could be hard. But she's a fan of the new Mad Max because she's also a fan, again, of strong women. And Charlize Theron does a wonderful job of doing the strong character in this. And she really enjoys that show. I thought I was doing good. Thought we were doing good. And I tried to get her to watch Blade Runner, which would have been okay had I not got the director's cut extended edition version of Blade Runner. That's a hard watch, guys. Unless you're a dyed in the wool kind of fan, it's hard. A lot of long, poignant scenes, just boring. You're going, what am I doing with my life? Why am I watching this show? Oh, yeah, it's a show about it. I mean, it's a really hard watch. So that was a bad introduction to the wife whenever we did watch Blade Runner. The new Blade Runner, not as bad. She enjoyed it. No, well, the old Blade Runner was good. It's just depending on what and how, I think she enjoyed the new Blade Runner. If you haven't, hey, Kelly Sellers, the new one is all right. It's got some good actors in it. It's different, as you might expect from a Mad Max, but it's good, yeah. Blade Runner and then Dune. Recently we watched Dune. Now, of course, we've watched tons. We've watched too many sci-fi shows to name, too many movies to name. She really has endured a lot of them. She likes them. She likes some of them. It's just like anything else. If it's got a good story and good actors and good direction, she'll enjoy it. She won't not enjoy it just because it's sci-fi. She gives them a chance. We recently watched The Event Horizon. Tough watch. It's kind of a tough watch. She didn't like that one. It's a bad, she can say she watched it, but she didn't really care for it. Same thing goes with Priest. We watched it. I watched it with her. I'd seen a little bit of it before. I just didn't kind of care for it. We watched it. I was kind of less than. We watched Dune recently. I found it to be a hard watch. It's very overdramatic. It's very operatic. Literally, go watch it again. They're the looks, the stops, the turns, the words they say. That chip is mine. That's mine. Ouch. They really was. I found it to be a hard watch. The wife didn't like it. She didn't. She got the story though, and I appreciate that she got the story to enough to understand what's going on, and they did the prologue beforehand and kind of explained some things, made it better. But it was a tough watch, but she troopered through it. Starship Troopers. She really enjoyed Starship Troopers. Of course, she'd seen it before, but then whenever I told her that Starship Troopers was actually, depending on what, the original book was not, but the movie was kind of meant as a satire of the right. And a lot of people didn't realize that. And they were like, yes, that's how it needs to be, not realizing that's like a satirization and that you're being poked fun at. And then to go back and watch the show, the movie Starship Troopers, with that knowledge, you're like, oh yeah, I get it now. It's all political, anti-political, these things here. So I'm not really going to eat that cracker. I dropped it on the floor, so I'll eat this one. So she enjoyed the Starship Troopers, especially the second time watching it. We watched it again recently. She really enjoyed that. Now, the other day, we watched, day before yesterday, we watched Highlander. And I was like, I could have swore we tried to watch this before and you didn't like it. She's like, I don't remember it. So we went and watched Highlander a couple days ago, and she really enjoyed the Highlander. Thought the Highlander was pretty good. And I was a little surprised, and I was like, okay, that's good. Because I like the Highlander. It came out at a time when I was young, and I watched it. It was influential on me, and I thought it was cool. I was glad that she liked it. Now, I remember as a young person watching Highlander 2 and going, that's a rough, that's hard. I don't get it. I didn't like Highlander 2. And then I sort of watched Highlander 3, and I just didn't, I don't remember. Anyway, but we decided, since she liked it, we were going to kind of soldier on. There's 2 or 3 movies. There's a couple of series, 2 or 3 series, and we might watch it and enjoy it. There might be some good stuff there. If you're a big Highlander person and you know the series and stuff, we're gonna let I'm just letting you know we're gonna be watching. We might be watching some of that. Well, we watched the first one. She's like, I might want to be interested in watching the rest of those things. Then we watched the second one. We watched it last night, and by the time it was over, she's like, do I have to watch any more of these? Do we have to watch the series? Do we have to watch? And I was like, listen, we had this conversation before. Don't judge the rest of it by this one. So we're gonna soldier on and try to watch more of Highlander. So we'll see. I think that's what I'll keep you updated on Sci-Fi Saturdays as we go forward, how this works out. So that kind of brings us to what we've got going on as far as, I think maybe this weekend, if I could sweet talk her into it, we might watch Cowboys and Aliens. I think she'll get a kick out of it. Some of it. It's been a while. It's swear she's seen it. I could swear she's seen it. She says she hasn't. I'll take her word for it. She, we may have this. She slept through it. Who knows? I don't know. We're going to see. And that's kind of what my evil plan of doom and despair is. So, all right, guys. I guess I'm going to go on and do some other things for the weekend. I just want to say hi to you and tell you guys about my wife. This is our anniversary, our 5th year anniversary. And over these 5 years, she has endured a lot of sci-fi with me. And I thought I would kind of line it out for you. These are all the sci-fi badges that she gets to wear. There's more coming. Harrison Ford and Daniel Craig. That's right. There's more sci-fi badges coming, Lost in Space. I think we've seen, I don't know if we've seen it. We need to go watch, stuff like that. There's a lot to come right now. I am enjoying, The Expanse. I'm just started season 3 of The Expanse. I think I'm 2 or 3 episodes in. I didn't watch any while we were on the trip, so I got to pick it back up. Really enjoying The Expanse. I'm going to go out on a limb and at this point say The Expanse is now one of my favorite sci-fi shows ever. I'm going to have to say that. Yeah. I don't throw that out there often. Like a Stargate season 7, best sci-fi movie ever. If you're familiar with it all, you probably agree. It's just freaking awesome. The Expanse is really good. It's a little difficult on the uptake at first because they got a lot going on and they're trying to throw a lot at you. But once you catch up and you pay attention and you get into it, man, it is absolutely awesome. I didn't watch the series. I watched the movie, the Lost in Space movie, back in the 90s, I think it was. I got a kick out of the first 3/4 of the movie. I didn't like the ending. I thought the ending was stupid. I like the actor who plays the grown-up version of the son. I like the actor. I thought that actor was very poorly cast for that role. He looked nothing like what the son would. I mean, there was just very bad. And then the storyline and how it all ended, I didn't enjoy the end of Lost in Space. I liked the first 3/4 of it though. The man, Gary Oldman as Dr. Smith, fantastic. I was young. I really liked the 2 daughters. The older daughter, the blonde daughter, she was really, really hot, I thought. There was the actor who played Joey. Very cool. Did a good job doing his part. I thought the movie was really good. I just didn't like the end of it. Beastmaster could use a decent. I remember being a kid, and I remember seeing that movie as a kid, and I thought the actor, and I don't know why I thought this, one of those things you hear as a kid, I guess. I thought the actor who played the Beastmaster in the movies was blind. I don't know why. I don't remember where I heard that or why I thought that, but I remember for the longest time I thought that actor was blind. I guess I hope. Mark Singer, I think your name is. I hope you're not blind, brother. I don't think you are. So yes, those shows are and of course, like I said, I want to get back and watch The Expanse. Absolutely fantastic. Great show. All right, guys, I'm off to save the world. Sometimes I get in trouble whenever when I talk about the wife on the show. She always cringes. She does not particularly care for me talking about her on the show. As far as you guys know, I don't even have a wife. It's a mythical character, mythical beastie that's over there, but she cringes. But this entire episode I've dedicated to her because she's awesome and sci-fi is awesome. And she, who was not a sci-fi person, is now a sci-fi person. We will be sitting somewhere and, we're talking about these lights. So I saw these lights over here and I'll turn to her and I'll say something. How many lights were there? And she's like, there are 4 lights. She gets it. She knows these references. She's always dropping them. She's smart. She's witty. She knows the sci-fi. She's got it in her blood now, and I love whenever, and I don't want to say she stumps me, but it's like I'll look over at her and I'll be like, I can't believe you just said that. I'm just so blown away that you just said that thing that just came out of your mouth. It was just fantastic. And I'll hug her. I'll cry a little. It's fantastic. She is fantastic. She has endured so much. I don't know if you guys know this. I don't talk about it very much on the show, but I wrote my own sci-fi manuscript. I have my own universe. It's like Star Wars or Star Trek, where I've got thousands of years of history. It's written in our current time and the years going forward, but it's my own sci-fi universe. And I wrote it back in 2016. And it's kind of like an amalgamation of my love of sci-fi and what I wanted to see of us. And she was with me when I wrote it. She was my editor. She would read the chapters and all these things. And all of this, I would say this was I know this was before we started watching the Star Trek series. We hadn't watched the Star Treks. Well, this is 2016. So we've been together for just a few. So she now if she was to go back and reread that after watching all these shows with me, she would see all the things I ripped off from the other authors. No, there's influences. You know how it is. There's people who influence your work and your writing and your goals and the things that you like and the things that you want to see. And now that she's been through all these shows with me, she will know when we go back. And because that's our next plan, one of our plans. I'm very passionate about atheism, or I was. Nowadays, I'm like, I want to do atheism, but really it's more about, it's not as much atheism as it was. I've got a sci-fi show. I really love sci-fi. I've got my own sci-fi universe. One of my next steps is to move from focusing on the atheism and doing these things and focusing on finishing that book, getting it published, starting to develop my own sci-fi universe. It's got video games built into the book. In the book, they play a video game on their mobile devices that's synced with things in space to fight off the aliens that are attacking. I mean, it's got a lot of awesome shit in it, and I want to kind of focus on that. In book 2 and book 3, I've got 3 books planned, 1 written, 3 planned, and then 10 episodes of a series that I have plotted. So that's what I want to do with my life. I'd rather do that than sit here arguing with Christians all the time, And that's why I think I love the sci-fi so much. So, all right, guys, I am off to save the world. I want to thank you for joining me. Again, I'm humbled that you want to stay and watch and visit with me. Thank you very much. It's Sci-Fi Saturday. We'll be back to normal Monday. I'm going to have my normal co-host, and we'll get back to normal and start having guests, and the damn show will be rocking right along as it was. So it's just been this week. I got the surgery and I didn't want to bug my co-hosts. I thought I'd let them have the day off. So you guys be wonderful. Have a great weekend. Stay safe. If you're into firecrackers, keep all your fingers. Keep all your dedos. Stay safe. Have fun. I will see you guys Monday. Take care. Thank you for watching the show. A special shout out to my gold level Patreon supporters, the Blazing Wizard Pope, Ian Davenport, Cindy PLAZA, and tons of mice. Thank you and have a great day.